He's the nightmare matchup every single night.
Simmons has a clear size advantage on the rookie.
In a decade, maybe once in a lifetime type player.
The power for Simmons. Wow, what a Simmons trying to shoot. Escaping and slamming is Ben Simmons.
Superman flew right down the middle, and no one decided to bother him.
Second straight.
Ben Simmons is a former #1 overall pick, 3-time All-Star, and max contract player who has made over $50 million in his career.
Chris Dunn in the starting lineup. They're 14-5 since. They have the 3rd offense, 17th defense, and Simmons rocks their rim.
This is what the Nets fans have been waiting for. A healthy Ben Simmons doing it on the defensive end and leading to offense.
But if there's anything more prominent than his accolades, it's the fact that he is extremely corny.
Focus, you know this, I'm tapped in. Tapped in, I'm tapped in, I'm tapped in. Leave it all on the floor, I came to win.
You're insane, you're in pain, I can tell by what you're saying, but my bad figure in the NBA for many reasons, both good and bad, with the majority of people treating him as a meme, but not everyone sees Ben that way. He does have, albeit small, a strong core fan base of people who still believe in his potential, and to understand how he's become so infamous despite being a former All-Star and Rookie of the Year, we have to dig a little deeper. I want to cover Ben Simmons because I think his story over the past few years has reached another level. We're going to talk about his past and how he's evolved, or really how he hasn't evolved at all, but after seeing the direction his career has gone, I definitely had to step in and break it all down. Anyways, Ben Simmons is a player who has been viral on social media platforms over the past few years for his refusal to shoot, his playoff failures, and his strange excuses. Why are you acting like a little—
Stop and—
Let's go!
Oh! The steal
Drop!
Oh! AD!
I thought he was going to Jokic it.
I thought he was going to dribble off his foot.
AD.
Is there anything that you have to talk to him about, or is that just nerves, or what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously he struggled from the free throw line, and that became a factor in the series. There's no doubt about that. Still believe in him, but we have work to do.
Hello, you can hear me, right? Cause I gave you too many chances to understand that pain sounds different when it's coming from a max contract player who won't shoot the basketball.
At this point, I don't care about that man, honestly. He does whatever he wants. That's not my job. That's those guys' jobs.
I needed somewhere to take my mistakes. I didn't want my family to see me pass up open dunks. Bills, you're insane. You're in pain. My bad. I forgot you were fragile. The corniest NBA player alive, Ben Simmons. But before he was making excuses on podcasts and collecting paychecks from the bench, Ben Simmons was first hyped as the next LeBron James. It all started back in 1996 when Ben Simmons was born in Melbourne, Australia. Ben Simmons' come-up story is one of extraordinary talent meeting extraordinary hype.
And there's one name on everyone's lips. Ben Simmons.
Born in Melbourne, Australia on July 20th, 1996, Simmons was basketball royalty from birth. His father, Dave Simmons, was a professional basketball player who represented Australia internationally and played in the NBL for years. His mother, Julie Simmons, was a dedicated supporter who helped guide Ben's early development. Growing up in a basketball household, Ben was groomed for greatness from day one. By his teenage years, he was already dominating Australia's junior leagues. Showcasing a combination of size, court vision, and ball handling ability that simply didn't exist in someone his age. He wasn't just good for his age, he was playing like a grown man against kids. In 2013, at just 17 years old, Simmons made the bold decision to move to the United States to attend Montverde Academy in Florida, one of the most prestigious basketball prep schools in the world. There, he played alongside future NBA players like D'Angelo Russell and cemented himself as the consensus #1 high school player in America. The hype surrounding Simmons was insane. Comparisons to LeBron James and Magic Johnson were thrown around casually by scouts and analysts. Recruiting experts raved about his 6'10" frame combined with the ball handling and vision of a natural point guard. He was billed as a generational talent, a player who could single-handedly change the course of a franchise. ESPN ranked him as the #1 player in the 2015 recruiting class. Max Preps named him National Player of the Year. Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour all came calling with massive endorsement offers before he'd even played a single college game.
What's going on, guys? I'd like to announce that I've signed with Nike. I'm excited. I'm blessed, and it's an amazing opportunity for me.
In 2015, Simmons committed to LSU, and expectations couldn't have been higher. Playing under head coach Johnny Jones, he went on to average 19.2 points, 11.8 rebounds, and 4.8 assists per game in his lone college season. He became the first player in Southeastern Conference history to lead the league in points, rebounds, assists, and steals in the same season.
That's the answer. Oh, give him another look. There he is. He's going to the green room, baby. He's going to his own room. He's all.
He earned numerous accolades, including the Naismith College Player of the Year, the Wayman Tisdale Award, Consensus First Team All-American Honors, and SEC Player of the Year. By every statistical measure, his college season was a dominant success, but despite his individual brilliance, LSU finished with a 19-14 record and failed to make the NCAA tournament, raising early questions about Simmons' leadership, competitiveness, and ability to elevate his teammates. Some analysts pointed to his body language during losses. Others noted that he seemed more focused on preserving his draft stock than winning games. Still, those concerns were largely dismissed as nitpicking. After all, this was a generational talent.
Corniest and then drive in. Ben Simmons with the finish. 6 seconds shot. Oh, game clock with that. Ben Simmons, that's not fair. And then he scored.
It's the level he's at. And the collegiate game is not the level he will.
And he is feeling it.
And how quiet has this crowd been on a senior night? Because it was so easy in the first half.
He was the clear-cut #1 pick in the 2016 NBA draft, selected by the Philadelphia 76ers with dreams of becoming the cornerstone of the process. The Sixers, led by GM Sam Hinkie's tanking strategy, had spent years accumulating assets and high draft picks. Joel Embiid had been selected 3rd overall in 2014. Simmons would join him as the final piece of the puzzle. Together, they were supposed to bring championships back to Philadelphia. But then disaster struck. During training camp, Simmons suffered a Jones fracture in his right foot. The injury required surgery.
Ben Simmons has a fracture of the 5th metatarsal bone in his right foot. The injury occurred when the rookie forward rolled his ankle during the final scrimmage of the team's 2016 training camp at Stockton University on Friday. Simmons led the Utah Summer League in assists and was 3rd in rebounds while posting 8 points per game.
And the Sixers made the decision to sit him out his entire rookie year to ensure he healed properly. The decision was controversial at the time. Some believed Simmons could have returned mid-season. Others accused the Sixers of tanking yet another year to secure a better draft pick. But regardless of the reasoning, Simmons sat on the bench in street clothes for the entire 2016-17 season. The wait only heightened the anticipation. When he finally debuted in October 2017, the basketball world was watching, and at first, he didn't disappoint.
Running tonight from Wells Fargo Center. Simmons build at the same time as Baldwin lost it inside. Watch Simmons. Watch his magic.
Game out.
Redick, a rather healthy 3, and that's why he's here.
Simmons' debut season was everything Sixers fans had hoped for, at least on the surface. He averaged 15.8 points, 8.1 rebounds, and 8.2 assists per game, becoming just the 3rd rookie in NBA history to average at least 15 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists, joining Oscar Robertson and Magic Johnson in that exclusive club. He recorded his first career triple-double in just his 11th game, finishing with 18 points, 10 rebounds, and 12 assists against the New York Knicks.
Start of this year, numbers show it. And Simmons, you can count it. So all bench save this guy, Ben Simmons, who goes in and slams for 2. Looking for the call as well for the crew chief, who was baseline. Simmons. Official announcement soon as Simmons break it.
By the end of the season, Simmons had recorded 12 triple-doubles.
This would be Joe's 35th season. Simmons in the lane. Simmons behind the back. Simmons from the lane. Simmons sees some daylight, drives and dunks.
The most by a rookie since Robertson's 26 in the 1960-61 season. He was named NBA Rookie of the Month for October, November, December, February, and April. He earned Eastern Conference Rookie of the Month honors every single month of the season. Alongside Joel Embiid, Simmons formed one of the most exciting young duos in basketball.
Though by Boston, now Simmons in transition. What a pass to Embiid by
This is no phantom of the process. This is a man of the process.
The Sixers finished with a 52-30 record, a massive improvement from their tanking years, and advanced to the second round of the playoffs before falling to the Boston Celtics in 5 games. Simmons was unanimously named the 2018 NBA Rookie of the Year, earning all 101 first-place votes. He was selected to the NBA All-Rookie First Team. The future looked impossibly bright. The city of Philadelphia was ready to crown him as their next basketball savior. Sports Illustrated put him on the cover. Sneaker companies fought over endorsement deals. Analysts debated whether Simmons or Embiid would ultimately become the face of the franchise, but there was one problem that everyone noticed but chose to downplay. Ben Simmons couldn't shoot, and not just he's not a great shooter, he literally would not attempt jump shots.
Seasons within 1. Ben Simmons with the right hand, it's an air ball by 9. Switching hand, Thomas the jumper. No, Simmons switching hand, short. Rebound, Simmons. Misses it.
From the very beginning of his NBA career, one thing was glaringly obvious. Ben Simmons refused to shoot the basketball from beyond 5 feet. In his rookie season, Simmons attempted just 11 three-pointers all year. 11 in an entire 81-game season. For context, some NBA players attempt that many threes in a single quarter. James Harden averaged over 13 three-point attempts per game that same season.
No one expected him not to be in Oklahoma City after they reached the finals last year.
Harden blind bounce to Ashik, and he'll lay it in. Nice reverse. Harden with the shot on the other end, brings it. Harden gets an Ashik screen. He'll drive it and lay it in. Tony Douglas off to Harden.
And it wasn't like Simmons was avoiding them because he was being selective or strategic. He avoided them because he was scared. Defenders quickly realized they could sag off him entirely, clogging the paint and daring him to shoot, and he never did. His shooting form looked broken. His free throw percentage hovered around 60%, an embarrassingly low number for a guard and lower than most centers in the league. When he did attempt mid-range jumpers in practice or shoot-arounds, they looked awkward and forced, like a player who'd never been properly coached on shooting mechanics.
A 2 to 4 week absence is going to be huge. Irving, Simmons, Claxton. Why not? Yeah, why not Jacob?
Season after season, the shooting problem persisted. In his second season, Simmons attempted just 17 three-pointers. In his third season, he attempted just 24. These weren't the numbers of a player working to improve a weakness. They were the numbers of a player actively avoiding exposure.
Maybe my most illustrative clip of just how stagnant Ben Simmons is in the half court. There's only one player that doesn't move this entire possession. Can you guess who it is?
Fans, analysts, and even teammates publicly called for Simmons to develop at least a respectable jump shot. Former NBA players like Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal criticized him on national television.
Hey, Cameron, Ben, you went to LSU. Man up, man. Man up. Stop messing around. Come on now. You know better than that.
Coaches suggest he spend every offseason working with shooting specialists, but instead of putting in the work, Simmons spent his off-seasons posting Instagram photos of himself working on a shot in empty gyms, shots that never ever translated to actual games. The videos became an annual tradition, a running joke across NBA social media. Every summer without fail, Simmons would post a clip of himself draining threes in an empty gym with no defenders. And every season without fail, he'd refuse to attempt them in real games. The memes started rolling in. Clips of Simmons passing up wide open layups went viral. Photoshops of him shooting free throws underhand circulated Twitter. Compilations of his worst offensive possessions racked up millions of views on YouTube. But through it all, Simmons remained defiant. In interviews, he'd deflect questions about his shooting or claim he didn't need to shoot to be effective. He positioned himself as a pass-first player, as if that somehow excused his inability to score outside of the restricted area. "I am who I am," he told reporters in 2020. "It's just how I play. I don't need to shoot threes to impact the game." And for a while, the 76ers tolerated it. After all, Simmons was still putting up impressive all-around stat lines. He made the All-Star team in 2019 and 2020.
And back comes Ben Simmons of the Sixers. Oh, he went all Vucevic with the move. Simmons got the roll.
He earned NBA All-Defensive First Team honors in 2020 and 2021, showcasing his elite perimeter defense.
He had to guard 2 guys at one time, and he stood his ground and got the steal.
Love with a triple.
Hey, he's won championships for 3 separate teams. He's earned the right.
He certainly has.
He knows what he's doing.
Yes, he has.
Terry got...
So the net lead is now 7.
He was still young, still developing. The Sixers convinced themselves that the shooting would come eventually. They built offensive systems designed to hide his weaknesses. They surrounded him with shooters to space the floor, but it never worked. And when the playoffs came around, the league exposed him mercilessly.
By the way, let's switch gears here. We just got in footage of Ben Simmons leaving hastily out of Philadelphia. Let's take a look at this. On the way out. Any news about Ben?
While Simmons looked like an all-star in the regular season,
here's a guy that's going unscathed. It's Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
Skip, this is atrocious what he's doing. He's averaging 9 points a game. He averaged 17 in the regular season. He averaged 9 rebounds. He's averaging 7. He averaged 8 assists. He's averaging 4. Skip, he had more turnovers than assists last night. And the thing is, the Raptors know he can't shoot the ball, but now he's even afraid. He's afraid to shoot, Skip. 5 field goal attempts in a game of this magnitude for the second best player, your all-star, this is unacceptable.
the playoffs told a different story.
Simmons guarded by Olynyk, crossed him up. Simmons on the take. Oh! Golden State cannot wait. That's basket. Now Simmons, it's a 5-on-4. Wade slow to get back. There's Covington.
Corral that pass from Dragic. The Heat turn it over. They're 10th already here in the first half. Nice little ball fake. Simmons.
In the 2019 Eastern Conference semifinals against the Toronto Raptors, Simmons averaged just 11.6 points per game on 56% free throw shooting. The Raptors employed a simple defensive strategy: leave Simmons open and dare him to shoot. It worked perfectly. The Sixers lost in 7 games on Kawhi Leonard's iconic Game 7 buzzer beater.
Saw that last possession for Philly. Not a good look.
Sixers had an early 1-point lead into Siakam. Philadelphia. Shot clock at 5 and across the lane. Leonard by Harris.
In the 2020 first-round series against the Boston Celtics, Simmons averaged 13.3 points on 50% free throw shooting. The Sixers were swept in 4 games. Simmons looked passive, hesitant, and completely unable to punish the Celtics' defensive scheme.
Que aquí va a atacar. Parecía falta. 9 en este TD Garden el pasado 12 de diciembre, el Día de la Virgen contra Filadelfia.
First-round series against the Washington Wizards, Simmons averaged 13.6 points on 33% free throw shooting. Yes, you read that correctly, 33% from the free throw line in a playoff series. The Sixers won the series in 5 games, but Simmons' offensive limitations were becoming impossible to ignore.
Look at the scram here, and then who else? Russell Westbrook comes up with it to deliver his 14th assist. And you wonder if the officials are going to take a look at this. To me, that's just a good, hard foul right there. But
the hack-a-Ben strategy became a legitimate playoff tactic. Teams would intentionally foul Simmons late in games, knowing he'd likely miss both free throws. It was embarrassing for a max contract player, humiliating for the Sixers, and proof that Simmons' offensive deficiencies were a legitimate championship roadblock.
I mean, my eyes still hurt from seeing it. It's complete garbage. And Nate McMillan admitted.
But nothing, absolutely nothing, compared to what happened in the 2021 Eastern Conference semifinals against the Atlanta Hawks.
The game is in your head. That's a dunk for me.
Got him. He's nuts. Got him. Got him. He's nuts. Got him.
If there's one moment that defines Ben Simmons' career and cemented his reputation as the corniest player in the NBA, it's Game 7 of the 2021 Eastern Conference semifinals against the Atlanta Hawks. The Sixers were the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference. They'd finished the regular season with a 49-23 record, the best in the East. They had the reigning MVP runner-up in Joel Embiid. They had home court advantage throughout the playoffs.
Simmons, pretty play for Sharge. Nice defense on him by Walker. Sixers try to squeeze off Walker. They do. Simmons is going to solo, and he throws it in reverse. Obviously good here in this quarter.
Hawks, meanwhile, were the 5 seed. They were young, inexperienced, and led by a third-year point guard in Trae Young. On paper, Philly should have dominated the series. Instead, the Hawks pushed them to a decisive Game 7 at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia. Game 7 was tense from the opening tip. Neither team could pull away. Embiid was playing through a torn meniscus, clearly hobbled but refusing to sit out.
Taking the page out of Ben Simmons' book. On the
1 out of 2. 5-point game. Sixers got to go quick. Embiid fires a 3. No. Going to be heartbreak in back-to-back years for the Sixers. The first-round exit last.
Simmons, meanwhile, was invisible offensively, playing scared and passive. Late in the fourth quarter, with the game on the line and the Sixers desperately needing a bucket, Simmons found himself under the basket with a clear path to a game-tying dunk. There was no defender between him and the rim. Danilo Gallinari had rotated over but was still several feet away. All Simmons had to do was go up strong and dunk the basketball. It was a play he'd made thousands of times in his career, and he passed it up. He literally refused to dunk the basketball, instead passing it out to Matisse Thybulle, who was immediately fouled and missed both free throws. The Sixers went on to lose the game 103-96, ending their season in devastating fashion.
And Young goes to work with Simmons on it, and lost it off his knee, and cannot run it down. He gives it away. It's an Atlanta turnover, and that's going to be a foul. Herder with a foul on Ben Simmons, and he missed it. 43 left in regulation. Atlanta ball. Gives it back to Young. A little bit of a scramble here. Young trapped now. And that's going to be Atlanta ball. And now Young and Simmons grapple for it.
The clip went viral instantly. Within minutes, it was the top trending topic on Twitter. Analysts couldn't believe what they just witnessed. Fans were in complete shock. Shaquille O'Neal called it the worst play I've ever seen from a professional basketball player.
The game is in your head. That's a dunk for Ben Simmons right there.
Ben Simmons, you're not that good. And then in this league, do you want to be good or do you want to be great? You're not great.
Charles Barkley said Simmons needs to see a sports psychologist immediately.
I'm disappointed in Ben Simmons. When you give somebody $200 million to dribble a stupid basketball, and the only thing you ask them is be better as a player, and their first response is, I don't want to play here anymore. That disappoints me as a player. It disappoints me as a fan.
Stephen A. Smith went on a 10-minute rant calling Simmons an absolute disgrace to the game of basketball.
The Sixers are wasting an MVP caliber season from Mr. Joel Embiid if they don't get their big man some help. But I'll tell you what, if Daryl Morey trades Ben Simmons within the Eastern Conference, especially and specifically within his own division to the Brooklyn Nets, it will qualify as the stupidest move of Daryl Morey's career, hands down. Yeah, put the phone closer to your ear so you can hear me, Daryl Morey. The stupidest move ever of your career.
Even Simmons' own teammates couldn't hide their frustration.
Go right up. Instead, leaves it for Schroeder. Has to locate it before it goes to the backcourt, and he cannot. Backcourt violation.
Tough play right there, and obviously.
After the game, head coach Doc Rivers was asked point blank by a reporter if Simmons could be the point guard of a championship team. His response? I don't know the answer to that question right now.
Ben Simmons can still be a point guard for a championship team like the one you guys want to become.
Yeah, David, I don't know that question or the answer to that right now. So I don't know the answer to that.
The quote sent shockwaves through the NBA. A head coach had just publicly questioned his all-star point guard's ability to lead a championship team hours after a devastating playoff elimination. Joel Embiid, the face of the franchise and Simmons' supposed co-star, didn't hold back either. When asked about the turning point of the game, Embiid pointed directly to Simmons' refusal to take the dunk. We'll see what happens, Embiid said, visibly frustrated. I don't know. I'm not going to answer to that question right now. The fallout was immediate and catastrophic. Simmons was roasted on every corner of the internet. Memes flooded timelines. His trade value plummeted overnight. Former players criticized him on podcasts and TV shows, and instead of taking accountability, owning his mistakes, and committing to improvement, Ben Simmons did what he does best. He ran away. In the aftermath of the playoff disaster, reports surfaced that Simmons wanted out of Philadelphia. He demanded a trade, refusing to show up to training camp or communicate with the team.
Ben Simmons played his last game for the Sixers in June of 2021, a Game 7 loss to the Hawks where he famously passed up a dunk. He refused to play the following season, eventually citing mental health issues or concerns.
The Sixers tried to work with him. GM Daryl Morey reached out multiple times, offering support and attempting to repair the relationship. Doc Rivers publicly stated that the team wanted Simmons back and believed they could work through their issues together. Joel Embiid even called Simmons personally, trying to convince him to return, but Simmons ghosted them entirely, choosing instead to spend his time partying in Los Angeles and London, posting Instagram stories of himself courtside at Wimbledon, attending fashion shows, and living his best life while his teammates prepared for the season. The Sixers initially fined Simmons for each missed practice and game, totaling over $1.5 million in withheld salary, but Simmons didn't care. He refused to budge.
Ben Simmons has finally cut ties with the Philadelphia 76ers. According to ESPN's Woj, Philadelphia has reached a settlement with Simmons over his salary grievance for the 2021-22 season. Now, it's still unclear as to how much money he's set to receive, but it is believed to be in the range of $20 million. The 76ers believe that the former All-Star breached his contract when he failed to arrive for training camp and would not play in preseason games for the team. Back in February, ESPN reported that Simmons had forfeited more than $19 million in fines and had not received a paycheck since October of 2021.
Then, in late October 2021, came the pivot. Simmons' agent, Rich Paul, announced that Ben was dealing with mental health issues and wasn't mentally ready to play basketball. Now, mental health is a serious topic, and if Simmons was genuinely struggling with anxiety, depression, or any other condition, he absolutely deserved support, resources, and empathy from the league and fans alike.
Now that the past is past, hopefully we can see a healthy and happy Ben Simmons actually play when the Nets open up their new season in October.
The problem was that his actions didn't match his words. According to reports from ESPN and The Athletic, Simmons refused to meet with team-appointed therapists. He refused to communicate with coaches or teammates about his mental state. He refused to participate in any team activities, even non-basketball related ones.
Sixers point guard Ben Simmons has made it clear he will not report to the opening of training camp next week and intends to never, ever play for the 76ers franchise again. This, according to ESPN's very own Adrian Wojnarowski, insider extraordinaire, of course. You've got to be kidding me.
Meanwhile, he continued to collect his max contract paycheck, over $30 million for the season, while sitting out games and appearing perfectly fine on social media. Fans and media members were split. Some believed Simmons was genuinely struggling and deserved empathy and patience. Others saw it as a convenient excuse to avoid accountability and force his way out of Philadelphia without taking any blame. The situation dragged on for months. Simmons' teammates grew frustrated. The Sixers stumbled out of the gate without their starting point guard. Trade negotiations stalled because Simmons' value had cratered so dramatically.
We were up 2-1. He had the dunk and pass it up to Matisse. That play, in real time, everybody in the building was like, what the fuck is going on? Did that just happen? Like, did he just do that? And a lot of people were concerned, like, what was going on? So then he got a lot of criticism in the media after that. And then Doc, I guess, said something which, like, I don't know if he's going to be a championship point guard, but ultimately led to him wanting to be traded after that. Yeah, that was the beginning of the end for him.
Either way, the damage to his reputation was irreversible. Simmons had gone from franchise cornerstone to league-wide punchline in a matter of months. In February 2022, Simmons finally got his wish. He was traded to the Brooklyn Nets in a blockbuster deal that sent James Harden to Philadelphia in exchange for Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and 2 first-round picks. It was supposed to be a fresh start, a chance to rebuild his image alongside Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, 2 of the most talented offensive players in NBA history.
He's got like that 7'4" wingspan. Drives past Giannis, gets Giannis in the air.
Couple of years.
Durant on the move. Oh! It was an automated phone system. Kevin Durant in the lane, pulls up.
Stein has picked up 3 fouls. Durant.
Got me ready to slide your feet.
Shot clock is off. 7 seconds left in the quarter. Watford kick out. Drummond 3. Yes! Andre. 3.5 seconds left.
A prove-it moment where Simmons could silence his critics and show that he was still an elite player. The Nets were desperate. They'd watched their championship window slip away as Harden grew frustrated with Kyrie's vaccine refusal and Kevin Durant dealt with injuries.
Kyrie believes in his beliefs and he stands firm and strong on that. And for us, we respect it. You know, we all love Kai. But as far as us, we have a job to do. You know, and individually myself, I'm still wanted to set myself up for a championship.
Simmons represented a low-risk, high-reward gamble. If he could return to his 2020 all-defensive form, the Nets would have one of the most talented rosters in the league, except Ben Simmons never played a single game that season. Despite being medically cleared by multiple doctors, Simmons cited back issues and continued to sit out game after game. The Nets, desperate for playoff help, watched helplessly as their new max contract acquisition remained glued to the bench in street clothes, watching his teammates battle without him. Rumors swirled that Simmons was afraid to play, afraid of the scrutiny, afraid of being booed by opposing fans. Reports emerged that he'd suffered a setback in his mental health recovery and wasn't ready to face the pressure of playing in New York.
Just in life, as a lot of people do. But it got to a point where after that series, I'm getting it's like from the people that you're supposed to have the support from or that, that comfort from. And I wasn't getting that either. So it was just a lot. It was a toll on me. And then mentally, it killed me. I was like no energy for anything. Like I was in a dark place.
The Nets were eliminated in the first round of the playoffs by the Boston Celtics, swept in 4 games. Simmons watched from the bench, his Nets career still at 0 games played.
Look, they signed Durant and Irving in 2019. They thought things would be different, but a first-round loss.
And a sweep. Boston, 4 in a row.
The following season, Simmons finally returned to the court in November 2022, but instead of the 3-time All-Star the Nets thought they were getting, they got a shell of a player who looked scared, passive, and completely devoid of confidence. His scoring disappeared entirely. He averaged just 6.9 points per game over the 2022-23 season, the lowest of his career by far. His aggression was non-existent. He'd pass up wide-open layups, refuse to attack mismatches, and defer to anyone else on the court.
Clearly trying to play with pace here. Little push shot. No, the bench. Kyrie Irving back in. Simmons, the offensive rebound of the channel. Look. Nets with their largest lead. It's 11 and a foul here. Simmons spinning, lost it.
And his trademark refusal to shoot remained as glaring as ever. He attempted just 15 3-pointers all season.
4 out of their rotation, but they're not tired yet.
Simmons, I'll take it back.
He's so fast.
Simmons. Boy,
Miami is on top. Simmons.
And the Rockets trail by 2, just at the buzzer for halftime.
1.4 remaining in the half. Take their first lead.
North of Bountiful.
The Nets missed the playoffs entirely, finishing 45-37 and getting swept by the Philadelphia 76ers, Simmons' former team, in the first round. Kevin Durant, frustrated with the organization's dysfunction, demanded a trade in the offseason.
All moves. As you see Kevin Durant, is this the moment where he gets notification that he's got to leave the floor? Yeah, he can't believe it. He's shaking his head. He cannot believe it.
And again, can't see exactly who that is that relayed that information to Kevin. But again, just the timing so odd as he's sitting in.
The entire Brooklyn experiment collapsed in spectacular fashion, and through it all, Simmons collected his checks, posted cryptic Instagram captions about staying focused, and avoided any real accountability for his performance. But if you thought Simmons' on-court reputation was bad, his off-court persona somehow made things worse.
Majority of the time, people talking shit, like it doesn't matter. I kind of just block it out, like. It gets to a point where you've heard everything. It's like, what else can you say? So I'm fine with it now. I think just for me,
In recent years, Simmons has leaned into a bizarre public persona that oscillates between victim mentality and fake confidence. He'll post workout videos on Instagram with captions like, "They don't want to see me like this," and "Year 8 different," only to follow it up days later with another injury report keeping him out of games.
Now look at his wrist. Oh my goodness. He is all cut up. And he's trying to say, hey, I didn't come here with those scratches, and I haven't gotten a whistle.
He's given interviews where he's claimed he's still one of the best players in the league, and people don't appreciate my impact, while simultaneously averaging single-digit points and refusing to shoot the basketball. During the 2023-24 season, Simmons averaged 6.1 points, 7.9 rebounds, and 5.7 assists per game in just 15 games played before injuries shut him down again. His player efficiency rating was one of the lowest among rotation players in the entire league, yet in interviews, he spoke with the confidence of a perennial all-star, claiming he was working working harder than ever and that his best basketball was still ahead of him. The disconnect between his words and his actions has become a running joke across the league. Podcasts dedicate entire segments to dissecting his latest excuse for missing games. NBA Twitter accounts exist solely to mock his performances and track how many games he's missed. Popular accounts like Ben Simmons Jump Shot Watch document every game he plays without attempting a three-pointer. Memes comparing his shooting form to broken robots circulate regularly.
45 and 37, but almost had 3 separate seasons within one. Ben Simmons with the right hand, it's an air ball. They're down by 9. Switching hands, Simmons missed it. Thomas the jumper. No, Simmons switching hands, short. Rebound knocked around in the third. Offensive rebound, Simmons.
And the worst part, Simmons seems completely oblivious to how the world views him, or if he is aware, he simply doesn't care, content to collect his max contract while contributing next to nothing on the court.
Majority of the time, people talking shit, like, it doesn't matter. I kind of just block it out, like.
Let's take a moment to run through some of Ben Simmons' corniest moments throughout his career, just to drive the point home about why he's earned this unfortunate title. 1. The I'm a championship level player. Despite never making it past the second round of the playoffs and actively hurting his team's championship chances with his offensive limitations, Simmons has repeatedly claimed in interviews that he's built for championship basketball and that his game is winning basketball. The audacity is truly astounding. 2. The annual shooting workout videos. Every single offseason without fail, Simmons posts Instagram videos of himself draining three-pointers in empty gyms with no defenders, perfect lighting, and carefully edited clips. And every single season, he refuses to attempt those same shots in actual NBA games. It's become such a reliable pattern that fans now treat it as a meme, creating countdown clocks to when the next fake workout video will drop.
To be able to dribble off the be able to dribble down into the post. His footwork off the catch in the mid post, playing with an open footwork, understanding what.
3. The tunnel fashion statements. Simmons' pre-game tunnel fashion has become almost as famous as his lack of offense. From oversized designer scarves that cost more than most people's rent to avant-garde outfits that look like they belong on a Paris runway.
Are you happy to be in Paris?
Rather than an NBA arena, his fashion choices have become a spectacle. The problem is his tunnel walk has become far more memorable and entertaining than his actual on-court performances.
That is 100% lamb. I asked him if it was leather. He said, no, Jared, it is a lamb. So take for that whatever it is. When he came onto the court just moments before tip, Blake Griffin, among other Nets, very impressed with that outfit made of lamb.
4. The trade demand theatrics. Simmons' refusal to show up to work while demanding to be paid $30 million was peak NBA player entitlement. The fact that he got away with it and still received his full salary while his teammates battled without him set a terrible precedent for player empowerment and accountability. The mental health pivot. Whether or not Simmons was genuinely struggling with mental health issues, the timing and execution of announcing it felt opportunistic and manipulative. The fact that he refused to meet with team-appointed therapists while continuing to party in Los Angeles and London raised serious questions about the legitimacy of his claims. 6. The social media presence. Simmons' Instagram is a masterclass in delusion and false confidence. It's filled with motivational quotes about grinding and staying locked in that never translate to actual improvement on the court. The comment sections are brutal, with fans constantly roasting him for his lack of accountability. Despite all of this, Ben Simmons isn't completely oblivious to how the world views him. He's even addressed it in rare interviews, claiming that he's misunderstood and that people just don't appreciate the nuances of his all-around game. I know what I bring to the table, Simmons told reporters in 2023. I don't need to prove anything to anyone. I know my value.
People are going to say positive things, bad things, just how you take it. Because at the end of the day, we got to focus on what we do. The majority of the time, what people are saying has nothing to do with what we're doing, you know, or it doesn't affect us, you know, our job. Like, we go into a locker room, no one else is in that locker room with us. Keep your circle small and just keep working. That's really what I do.
But the truth is, Ben Simmons had every opportunity in the world to build a legacy as one of the most versatile and unique players in NBA history. He had the size of a power forward, the vision of a point guard, the defensive ability to guard positions 1 through 5, and the athleticism to finish at the rim with authority. He was compared to Magic Johnson and LeBron James for a reason. The physical tools were absolutely there, but instead of putting in the work to address his weaknesses, instead of developing even a basic jump shot, instead of taking accountability for his playoff failures, Simmons chose the path of least resistance. He became known as a mental midget who shrinks in big moments, a max contract bust who can't stay on the court, a player who cares more about his Instagram aesthetic than his actual basketball development. And no matter how hard he tries to rehab his image, no matter how many workout videos he posts, no matter how many times he claims he's locked in, nobody's buying it anymore. The misunderstood genius narrative doesn't work when you've had 8 years to prove yourself and have only gotten worse. It doesn't work when you refuse to shoot wide open dunks in elimination games. It doesn't work when you ghost your team for an entire season while collecting $30 million. Ben Simmons is the corniest player in the NBA, and that reputation is permanent. In the end, Ben Simmons has made over $150 million in his NBA career and counting. He's been a 3-time All-Star. He won the 2018 NBA Rookie of the Year award. He earned NBA All-Defensive First Team honors twice. He's played alongside some of the best players in the league, from Joel Embiid to James Harden to Kevin Durant. By any objective measure, he's had a successful professional basketball career that 99.9% of players could only dream of achieving. But in the culture he wanted respect from, the hardcores, the Twitter analysts, the media members, the players themselves, the fans who truly love and understand the game, his corniest player alive reputation is probably permanent. He'll be remembered not for his all-star selections, but for passing up an open dunk in Game 7. Not for his elite defense, but for his complete inability to shoot a basketball. Not for his triple-doubles, but for ghosting his team and manipulating the mental health conversation to avoid accountability. Ben Simmons could have been special. He could have been a Hall of Famer. He could have been a champion. Instead, he became a cautionary tale about wasted talent, a meme about failure, and the answer to the question, who's the corniest player in the NBA? Still, get your bag while you can, Ben. You've come a long way from those Montverde Academy days.